studs look really good though, as you can tell. It's all perfect fit. Everything is basically seated correctly. New gasket's ready to go. Some of the parts that we ordered, that we just got on the pallet. For sure, this is a 2018 Civic hatchback, manual transmission. So this is a non-SI trans. So what we're gonna end up doing is we're gonna add an LSD, since this car doesn't come with the LSD from the factory. So we got lucky, we were able to get the whole trans, the slave cylinder, which that alone is like $100. And we were able to get the half shaft, turbo, the actuator. It's super important you get this with the turbo. Whichever turbo you buy, I would recommend just making sure it has this. This is very difficult to get if you can't get it. With the turbo itself, we got the inlet pipe. The building fashion, we went with some eBay parts, which I know some of you may not want to hear. But the truth of the matter is, it's a 90s Honda, and you can get a lot of shit off of eBay. So what we ended up doing was, we got a B18 turbo kit, which I already used in the EK prior, but the old intercooler that we got is gonna end up transferring over to the GSR. This kit, we wanted to make it a lot more refined because it's gonna be more of a track build. So we wanted to make sure that the bends and everything is gonna be perfect for that for that inlet pipe there, specifically the TF Works sent us. So we have a bunch of different size couplers. Don't like that it has a lot of the markings here. We may just like paint those black or flip them over just so that none of the things come on. But we got a lot of these powder coated, which is pretty sick. The ones that I had previously were just all silver. We may need to cut some of these, so that's gonna suck. But it is what it is, you know, so. We got these, a couple different bends, some U's. It has a blow-off valve on, we may need to use that actually. That's pretty cool. So we may be able to use one of those like old school like recirculation ones.
Yeah.
Which could probably just like bolt up here, right? And just,
yeah.
I think the recirculation one that they have for the tension connects to like a tube port like this.
Oh really?
It just has to be recirculation. It has to go back in the manifold and we're pretty much good to go. Or actually, maybe we can tune that out. I gotta ask. But this actually be pretty cool. If we do it. I think how it's gonna go.
I think it goes. Oh, we something like, I don't know.
See how it gets a little difficult? All right. Anyways, this is cool. We got this. How much was this?
This was below $200.
Can't get that, bro. Can't get that for attention.
Yeah.
$500 just for the intercooler alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have a 10-10 platform, you know.
Yeah. So this one came with the intercooler plus the charge pipes, but
this
again,
one for sure we need. This one's gonna go.
That's for the turbo, right? I think it's for
It's
the.
gonna go like this.
Yeah, turbo to intercooler, right?
Figure it out. Figure it out.
Something like that.
May need to do some cuts. This is the one we need. So this is gonna go like this on the intercooler, and then we're gonna go up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Sure, we need that. A lot of clamps. Ooh, and these are actually the clamps that have the bolts, so these are pretty good.
Yeah, I wanted to get those. Just
So-
because they're like beauty washers, low key.
All right. This is a itty bitty turbo that we need. We
So,
don't need.
compared to the PRL one, is it the same size or small?
No.
That box is way bigger than what it was.
This is not the same size.
That thing looks hella tiny.
It's okay, bro. We don't make 200 like nothing.
Yeah, but don't you want as much cold air as you can?
Bro, the V turbos with this little intercooler will make like 500.
Oh.
So it's perfect, small size, small enough. Like I said, if we have any issues, then we'll upgrade.
It's eBay.
You know?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do for 200 bucks? You know, pretty
Yeah.
good. It'll do its job,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's black.
Yeah. That's
Which
what. Yeah. I didn't want the chrome piping. So
yeah, that's kind of.
this was
that's
only.
that's 290s, right?
Yeah, this was the only one that was a few.
Cool. So we got that.
Yeah.
Turbo.
And then over there we have our radiator.
Yeah.
Oh.
ECU. Important. This is an SI ECU, not a base model. We are going to be running the SI intake. Also, the intake manifold, MAF sensor, I'm sorry. MAF, not MAP, MAF.
Mm-hmm.
And we're also going to be running the SI harness. So this is important that you get an SI ECU for what harness you're using and what MAF you're using. We decided to go SI. Transmission doesn't matter, all the sensors are the same. It's just this transmission doesn't have LSD, which we are adding LSD. Frankie ended up going with the CSF, which is a great choice. Like I said, we offer both. We offer coil and CSF, and this is the option that we chose. CSF has way nicer polishing.
Yeah, so the biggest difference between CSF and coil, I mean, they're both probably are efficient enough for what I'm looking for. Has a much better finish on their products. So coil, which I am running on my FK, but it kind of has like a brush finish versus the CSF. It's more of a full-on polish type of look.
I think they do a 5 polish process.
Yeah. So
from what they tell us,
as you can see, it looks like it's a semi-truck gas tank, hella polished, chromed out. So.
And then we're only going to be running the one single fan regardless.
Yep.
That's perfect.
How about fan? Is that something I need to get, or what's up with that?
The fan we're gonna have to use a spall fan.
Okay.
It's the perfect fit. Hoses, we're gonna use FK8 hoses since it's in the same position. And so that takes care of cooling. Takes care of the turbo, the intake section, the intercooler section, motor, trans. Clutch, we're doing RV6. We don't have that yet. That should be coming in tomorrow, the next day. Axles, we are doing non-SI on purpose. I'll let you guys know what axles we end up using when it's in the car. There'll be a later video. The other thing that we also got was, put this down, to go, because we don't have LSD in this, the main problem why we didn't use an SI is because of the axles. There's a difference with the axle sizing. And with the non-SI, it has a different spline count. So what we ended up doing was we bought a base transmission and we're gonna upgrade the LSD. So instead of just doing a stock LSD from the SI, which is okay, we're gonna do an upgrade above the SI one while still having a non-SI transmission. Which the gearing and all that stuff, there's no difference in ratios, there's no difference in material, there's no difference in synchros, it's all the same. It's just literally, there's no LSD and the SI has LSD, that's basically it. So now we're gonna add it and upgrade at the same time. So we went with MFactory. And this is the upgrade LSD that we got. So it's gonna be killing 2 birds with 1 stone, and it's still cheaper to do this rather than doing an SI trans, because an SI trans by itself is like around 2,600 bucks.
Yep.
Total we spent on this was what, like 1,200 with the trans?
Yep. 400 for the tranny, and then this was like 700-800, something like that.
So around 1,200 bucks total for an upgraded trans with an upgraded LSD. So to me, it's super cheap compared to paying, you know,
double the price.
$2,600 just for a stock transmission that has a base LSD. And because we're tracking, we're definitely gonna need this. And yeah, we're gonna do that. Next thing we're gonna do is basically just wait for the head. I gotta start disassembling the trans, but overall, this is what we're starting with. We already have a bunch of parts on order, like the harness, the shifter, the cables, and like all those small stuff that we have to buy. I will really sit down with Frankie. Maybe we'll do a podcast on it, going down through all the details of what we had to go through to do this, and then give you guys a rundown of what all the parts is that you actually need to do this swap. But biggest thing that we've learned was, I mean, besides doing the whole swap, is going to be the chassis. We did find out that the Integra chassis itself, there's a lot more room to play with. There's a lot more stuff that you can do, a lot more bends you have to get away with, you know. The EK, EJ, EM1 chassis, great chassis. It fits perfectly in there. There's no problems with that. You just gonna have to work a little bit with the space that you have. As you guys know, the Integra front end is slightly bigger, so there's a lot more room for stuff. But hood clearance, not really any issues with hood clearance. You just can't run any aftermarket inlet pipes. You would have to use the stock one for EK, EJ, EM1. You need to use an EG subframe. That's the biggest thing. You need to use EG subframe, EG lower control arms, and
for the front only.
For the front only. So keep that in mind. So we're gonna get into the transmission next. That'll be a separate video. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys keep up with what we've done, and hopefully this is a pretty quick process for you guys.